Alright, take it away, future me. Thanks, past me. So this project can be broken down into three simple parts: hardware, software, and putting it all together. I'm gonna go through all of them. Alright, in this section of the video, we're gonna be shooting the hardware portion, so all the electronics and stuff. Let me just... Alright, cool. Now that we have a little board and a little bit of privacy, we're going to be setting up this Arduino Uno. So basically, all this is an ultrasonic sensor inside of a breadboard that's already pre-wired, hooked up to the Arduino Uno. This is the power supply, and this is the motor we're going to be plugging in. Now, I had to switch out the motor because I kind of messed up the motor before, but there's a very simple trick to setting these up if you don't remember the colors. Brown is ground, so hook that up to ground. Red is voltage, because it's hot like fire, which leaves yellow to the input. And boom, just like that, your servo's set up. Now, what should happen here is the ultrasonic, if it senses any movement, will move the servo. Hopefully it works. Now, as you can see, it's not moving right now because there's no movement. But the instant I move my hand across, the motor moves. Okay. So, for the rest of hardware, there wasn't really too much, just a little bit of woodworking, which was incredibly hard for me, but I don't have that much footage. Just finding random scraps and bits and putting it all together. And I can't think. It's really cold. This was dumb. This is a dumb idea. I'm going inside. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't record any of my woodworking footage because, well, I had my hands pretty busy. But I have a couple of pictures that I can show you. And this. So it was mostly this, and this. But mostly this. Yeah. Well, anyways, here's a little bit of that footage, I guess. Pictures and such. So, yeah. Enjoy. Now I know what you're thinking. Don't show me the software. It's the most boring thing in the world. And you're right, I wouldn't show it to you. Just kidding, this is a school project you have to see. Welcome to the world's best software, MS Paint. So, basically, we're gonna run down through this super simple code real quick, and it'll probably take like around 10 seconds. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, these are all my variables I need to set up at the beginning. I can definitely set them up in setup and probably save some space, but you know, I'm not exactly a computer science dude. So I set up all my values here and I print them out just so I can see what they are so that I know that it's all working. This little function takes care of everything and sets up all my values to set it up, and I have it do at a +4 so that you can tell where the actual threshold value is, because that's the only difference between the starting value and the threshold value. This little function takes care of everything temperature related and turns it into degrees and whatnot. So yeah, that's really useful to seeing what my data actually looks like. This little getAverage function just takes the average of around 10-ish values, you can tell, 10-ish values, and gives me something because all the temperatures are reading really weird, so I wanted to kind of get a little good range over them. So that's all that was, and if it was greater than threshold value, then true. And the little loop function just kind of displays all the data so that I can actually see what's going on and make sure nothing's going wrong. And if it passes the threshold, then the server will move right there, right there. Oh, you thought we were done? No, joke's on you. There's even more code to look at. But in all honesty, what happened with the first one was that the thermistor didn't really work out and would give me all these sort of funky values even after I tried to change up the software and move the hardware placement so I'd move a little closer. But that really just kept giving me wonky values, so then the server mode would randomly act up, which led to a very mad me. But so I went out and got an ultrasonic since I figured that they were a little better, and honestly it panned out, so I guess I'm the winner here. But we'll run through again the code again, but it's super simple, so don't even worry about it. So right here we have a little setup. We're setting up the ultrasonic and the server mode itself, and we're also getting the starting value from the current distance I was looking at. This little function I stole from the Arduino website because, I don't know, it just made more sense. And basically all it does is send out a pulse and receives a pulse, determining the number of seconds that it takes to hit, and this little sucker converts that time into, well, actually this little sucker converts that time into a number, and this number into actual, readable data for me, at least, because I'm not a robot, and that's all it really does. And this is pretty much the only thing that I wrote. So, if it's, honestly, if it's just really close, if there's a big difference in the data, then it'll move the servo, and that's all it is. Oops, just realized I didn't talk about the prototypes at all. I figured we'd breeze through it really quickly with a couple of detailed drawings and videos. So, this is prototype number 1. There's a seesaw and it releases, I think I used hand sanitizer or something small that would hit this bowl with a candle in it that would slide all the way down and activate the thermistor, which would activate the servo, using the mallet to hit the ball, and the ball would roll away. This didn't turn out so great. So as you can see here, the servo actually moves the motor, but it wasn't due to the thermistor. I think the wiring just shifted or something, because I definitely didn't trigger it because it takes a little bit of time. So I'm not sure what happened, but it's not what I wanted. Next, we have prototype number 2. Slight changes and a little bit of adjustment, but it's almost the same thing. Seesaw releases something that hits the bowl with the candle that goes down and activates the thermistor, except now the servo isn't above, but below. I wanted to add on to this idea because I really thought it was a good one, and the ball would hit something else, and then it would activate another motor or something, I'm not sure yet, and I never really found out because I kept having issues with the candle and the thermistor. Oh sh! And that leads me to the current one that we have today. Alright, so this is the whole shebang. This is everything put together. You kind of see everything that we've been working on. I've been working on this whole time. A little bit of woodworking coming in to build these railings for the board so that the tennis ball will stay on track and it won't fall off the board. And over here, we have our pretend crab, little sign, and our electronic system. So the reason why I had to put in that little sheet of plastic there is because sometimes the ball moves so fast that the sensors don't actually pick it up. But the thing is, when the ball hits this board, there's a little bit of vibration, so that makes the plastic move, so that there's like 100% guarantee that the sensor will sense something. Over here, we have the motor, which is moved when the ultrasonic sets off, triggering our nice crab claws that we got from Joe's Crab Shack. But as you can see, you know, hits the motor, gets stuck in this little lid area right here, and basically knocks it off onto this little railing, which is caught. It's usually a little closer. Gets caught right here, hits this little nail in plastic, and it rolls down and sends it off to the next person. So that's really everything. Yeah.